back to VRML. Tonight we have a very hype Breachers match for you. We've got the older guys versus Havoc Esports, rank 1 and 2. My name is Philibus. Alongside me is Nightfire with 2 E's. Nightfire, tell me how excited you are for this matchup we got.
I mean, this is what we've kind of been talking about for the last, 3 weeks. Whenever we have a big blowout or a game that's kind of one-sided, it's like, just wait until week 4. We're going to get some good matchups in week 4. That's when the MMR starts to settle a little bit, and you kind of get the top teams going at it. In this case, both the older guys and Havoc Esports undefeated. You can see in the stats below, just underneath their graphic, it has 4-0 on each side. Ranks number 1 and 2 worldwide, Philibus. So this is right now the best of the best in the VRML going up against each other.
Yeah, I'm so excited. The most hype I've been for a match to cast so far. It's just been getting better and better as the weeks have been moving along.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you're going to look out for... Last time I watched the older guys, it was I Blame My Aim, the dedicated roamer, just putting up some crazy plays.
That's right.
And I think Havoc had a couple of people that were putting out some stuff. I know if I...
Yeah, we haven't been able to... This is their first time being cast, but they've won all 4 of their games pretty solid. I mean, ultimately they have been tested. They have gone up against some pretty decent opponents in those first 4 weeks, and today they are going to be again tested. The older guys have also been playing very good. Again, 4-0. It's one of these teams comes out either tied or losing, I guess, at the end of the day today. And it looks like we're going to be starting on, what is that, Hideout to kick things off. The older guys on defense, Havoc on the attack. What are your thoughts with Hideout to start this and the older guys starting on defense?
Yes, well, Hideout against the older guys, I know for a fact from personal experience is a difficult task. They're the one team that gave us our only loss so far this season, so maybe a bit of a biased opinion, but we've seen the older guys show they know what they're doing on Hideout, so it's definitely going to be an exciting matchup. I believe the older guys also starting off on defense, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So, yeah, cards are set. It's funny, the connoisseur votes are pretty close, but I think actually the edge went out slightly to Havoc the last time I checked it. It was not that big of a gap.
I think it was like 12-14 if you look at it. And yeah, I mean, both teams finally are readying up, and so we are going to actually just get ready to jump into round number 1 on Hideout here. We'll take a quick look at the active rosters on the afternoon. Coming in from the older guys' side, we have I Blame My Aim, Big Lunch, Silent, Driblo, and Crim Animosity. And over on Havoc, we have Wabez, Orchid, Splosion Max, Haijo Wolf, and Venom. Going to be, again, a exciting first 2 rounds, pistol rounds expected. And our first objective, going to be loading up onto that second floor. We're going to be seeing a patio breach, maybe combined with a hatch. Pretty standard stuff, but again, all pistols. So I wonder if maybe we are going to see sort of a heavy stack, a heavy push coming in from the side of Havoc. Either way, it looks like it's a 4-1 split. Where is that last attacker? I can't even find where they've set up.
Yeah, I'm actually sure. I think he's working his way up. Actually, strange. Do we have a glitch or something? I can't find him. But anyway, we're getting into the action here. I am so hyped to get this match underway as we see Venom breaking those skylights. We've got Weebez and Splosion, saying that right?
Yep.
Working their way through the patio in towards this bedroom side where Driblo is waiting. He finds the first headshot. Splosion Max goes down. Weebez trying to get the trade. Driblo's position pinged out. They know he's there. Fight comes through. He can't really rotate out because the hatch has been blown. You got Orchid watching the rotate from up above, so he's going to have to play his life here. But man advantage over to the older guys to get things started off here. Venom now rotating in behind Weybez to back him up. Driblo catches Weybez through the window. What a shot.
They really need to get Driblo out of this bedroom corner. They need to hit the 1-2 punch with the hatch drop and the rotation through that main door or the window. But if they just continue to let Driblo hold here, could be bad news. A couple of good shots so far. You can see there's the hatch shots coming in. Nice shots clipping the ankles of Driblo, doing some good damage down onto them. But they have that health syringe, so they're going to get back up to relatively full health if they don't get pushed. Still a little bit afraid to drop down through that hatch.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I see Hydra Wolf does have a nade in hand. I'm wondering if they have a plan for that nade, or if it might just be worth cooking it to clear Dribblo out of this position at some point. It looks like we're seeing a rotation from the attackers over towards the A bomb site, trying to take control of this lobby room. Top balcony as I blame my aim rotates through the crate, flips a headshot, but the damage is going back and forth. Actually, just barely missing his shots. As Hydra Wolf once again holding the hatch. So again, he cannot really rotate out of the spot. He's going to have to stand and fight.
I really like iBlame's spot here. It has just good coverage. You can watch that hatch drop down 3/4 coverage. You can watch the push up from this lobby, but they rotate around to the stairs, go down a 1-2 punch on both sides. We're suddenly clipped down to 1 left alive for Havoc and 3 left alive for the older guys. It is all up to Orchid alone with a Spectral in hand. A very low Crim Animosity on objective. Big Lunch rotating back off. All identified. Big Lunch there. The 1-2 punch. There's another shot. A 2-kill from Orchid over the top. Do they have the EMP? They do. It's coming down. The plant is here. Can they get it planted in time before Dribblo rotates out and pressures? They will. That's 200 into the pocket. Dribblo's going to push, and they win that fight too. A huge clutch from Orchid.
Oh, that was an incredible first round to get us started out. Really, the older guys got the momentum, but the 1v3 from Orchid to bring it home for his team. You see him pumping his fist. He is excited. And just like that, this banger got started off with a super banger of a pistol round. You're going to see Orchid immediately buy up into that Vezin, able to buy his own attachments. He got so much money from clutching that out and planting the bomb, or the EMP rather. Whew, what a way to start things off. I am so hyped.
Yeah, that was a stellar pistol opener. Orchid coming in big with the 1v3 clutch, pushing into the objective with the plant, no less. I mean, that is 200 for everyone on your team. That is vital coming in from Havoc. They go up 1-0 out the gate. What a nice setup Orchid is right now, you know, fully kitted out with a health syringe, flashbang. They have that fully kitted out Vezin, like you said. What is the plan for the breach, though? It does seem like they're relocating just a touch on the outside. They have 5 seconds left. I wonder if they're going to be trying to push in through that gym doorway or rotate hatch. The garage is kind of risky to push into as well, especially with someone like iBlame, who has been roaming.
Yeah, I blame known to be a very dangerous on the roam, so they're definitely going to take their time droning out through the garage just to make sure he's not catching them. It looks like they are going to try to take control of these hatches. I haven't seen the foam go out on that wall they were pinging downstairs either, so the foam comes in the storage hatch. It looks like they want to crunch down onto the storage room beneath the garage. There, it gets blown. So yeah, picking things off. Vezin's in the hands of both Orchid and Splosion Max, so we're going to want to keep our eyes on them and make sure if they do go down, I'm sure the teammates are going to want to scoop up those guns and not give control over to the older guys. When you're fighting for rank 1, you don't give up anything to the other team. Looks like it's going to be a flash play with a hatch drop down into storage.
They are stacked, ready to go. The call out and the timing is all that matters here. Wabez is going to rotate around. Is there another hatch over there that they can push through? That's a good flash, it seems, onto Aminosity, but Big Lunch swings wide to catch Hyza down. A nade on the backside finds the other, and Orchid barrels through for 1 kill. Rotates around for Crim. They go down there. Explosion is here for 1, looking for 2, and they can't find it. Crim saves it on the hatch breach, and now Wabez is alone in a 1v2.
Alone and low on health, and both of those Vezins going over to the hands of Crim Animosity. He's already got 1 in hand. I think Dribblo is just cautious about picking the other one up in case Wabez was outside covering it. But this is now a tall task, and everything fell apart as you had Big Lunch playing anti-flash in the back hall, was able to peek and cover his blind teammate in the storage, and then the crunch came in. That was an amazing. They were very ready for that drop down the hatch there. EMP. Now there is still a Vezin down. If he can, they gave up complete control of the storage without picking up that Vezin. He can work his way over towards that rifle. That would be a huge deal. He does find a stim.
Are they watching EMP? Because it does look like they should be able to scoop that up as well. Breaching charge just in case
they backed up into the bomb site position, now given away with the smoke grenade.
Oh.
Yeah, perhaps not wanting to risk it, playing a little cautious, backing up into B, but I don't think Wabez is going to go for the Vezin. Lucky, he must have assumed they picked it up. He's going to go for the rotate around to the A bomb site. Driblo seems to be aware of this. The audio cue must have come through as they both shift over towards A. Driblo back behind the workbench. Animosity coming through the connector. Driblo takes a couple of headshots, but manages to close it out with the Spectral.
Man,
6 HP left on the hand.
That's the
Driblo.
Cyclone nerf right there, right? The 2 headshots, but not the third. And ultimately a big round for the older guys. They needed to jump back into this off of that huge clutch from Orchid. It wasn't a bad attempt. They, you know, again, if they had picked up that Vezin, it could have been really the 1v2 again into the hands of Havoc. But for now, we get a bit of an equalizer for this round. Everyone has been saving that. Could save. Orchid, I suppose, going big in that last round, ultimately now can't buy in to round 3. So they are going to be at a slight disadvantage in comparison to the fully equipped older guys. On our 3rd round of the day, we're going to go up to the 2nd floor. And again, not looking like a lobby breach, but instead either a hatch drop or a push over here onto the balcony side.
Yep, similar, a little bit tighter of a setup from you saw on the pistol round, but a similar kind of concept. You're going to see the skylights probably get broken, the hatch get blown quickly, and also, yeah, explosion match, also about a rifle last round. They are full buying into this, though, with behind the 3 rifles, so they are going to invest everything they've got, pretty much, into full util as the hatch gets blown, and let's see what they have in store for us for round 3.
Nade goes down, doesn't get that door blocker, but it was directed at a previous location. Indicator to me that Havoc is paying very close attention to what's happening here. They're communicating, hey, remember, this guy was camped in the bedroom last round, and he did some serious damage. They're pre-nading it before they move. Drones are coming out, and an opening kill from Wabez nonetheless. It is a solid start on their attacking round as Orchid makes their way in. Hatch drop comes through. Not yet from Explosion, but Hyja does drop in from their hatch, and ultimately we've got 3 inside with a drone about to assist. Nade comes back. It's a good one. Orchid half damage. Hyja can peek the short corner, and the comm should come out. That big lunch is tucked in the back side as Hyja waits for anyone to peek.
That's right. Big Lunch's position now given away. They did manage to find I Blame on the roam downstairs, so they got the man advantage. I do like this adaptation from Havoc, throwing the drone down the hatch, clearing out the bedroom with some util, a little bit more util in hand than they had on the pistol. So we're seeing a completely different round here on this top floor. As Hydra Wolf wants to get a flash in. Now here's going to come the aggression. Another fire nades from both sides trading. That's going to stop the push entirely, but giving Havoc control of this back hallway. The rotation starting to come in. I think 3 members now from the older guys stacked up onto this B bomb site, ready for this wall to be blown. Silent tucked into behind the globe. And I believe it's going to be the crossfire. As the spam still comes out through the wall gets blown. EMP tucked in the corner. It is going to be a B crunch.
Oh, no. Big Lunch and Driblos scoop up the double before they can breach in through the double Vezins coming to fruition.
Orchid tucked in the corner. Silent just jiggle peeked right past him. They're not aware, so this still some potential, but that door blocker being up. Orchid has an opportunity here. And unfortunately, no. The 180 from Silent shuts Orchid down. Unexpected. Although he did have just a Spectral in hand, but yeah, I hate to see it. And all comes down to Venom now in a 1 versus 4. Let's see what he has left. Not a lot of HP to work with. It looks like he's going to try and save, but Crim Animosity with the aggression catches him vaulting out the window. Nice response from the older guys. Despite not the cleanest start to that round, they recovered nicely, shifting over, reacting to that back hall aggression very well. As soon as the wall blew, they took their time, gave the call to reaggress, double peeked, and just melted the attack from Havoc.
Yeah, and this is looking like Havoc are going to want to at the least tie this first set. We go to 6 rounds, then swap sides. That's the way of breachers. And right now they're going to have to eco. You're going into a fully equipped defensive team with health syringes, frags, door blockers, everything coming up, even some audio transmitters. A bit of utility getting traded around here onto the side of the Havoc side, but ultimately it is them saving enough money to that if they were to even lose, they would still be able. Actually, if they do lose, Hyja can't get a rifle, Orchid can't get a rifle, so they are still not technically saving enough if they do not win this eco round, and you're not likely to win an eco round when you're going with pistols up against a Vezin. So round 4 for Havoc here, definitely going to be important. Hopefully some of this utility works out for them.
Ooh. Opening nade through the garage, catches Wabez. Second nade comes out as well. Venom, that's going to slow this garage push down. Explosion, Silent finding a double through the laundry window. Venom finally getting their opening pick, but quickly traded by Crim Animosity. And then 1v4 once again in the hands of Hija Wolf. Hija Wolf. See if Wolf can let the dog out and make something happen here in this 4th round.
Yeah, this is going to be just fishing ultimately to do some damage. 1 kill is nice, but that isn't going to impact the economy of the older guys by much, especially coming off of a win where they're going to have 2,500 going into their pocket in comparison to the 15 from Havoc. And again, like I said, that 15 is not going to add up to 2,900, which is what you need, or 2,950, right, for a Vezin?
29 even,
Okay.
but that's with no attachments. You're gonna have to have a friend. Now, there's something I was actually wondering this the other day, and I didn't actually get a chance to test it out. But there is something called win-loss bonus, where consecutively lost rounds in a row will increase the amount of money bonus you get. I'm not 100% sure if they've implemented that into this game. But I think, yeah, I believe after you've lost a round and then you're going into the next round, I think all you have to save up to is about 1,000 credits. Then if you lose that round a third time with that extra money bonus from 3 losses in a row, you can actually buy up into full rifle. I believe that's how the math works out, because usually when we're saving on the second round, my call out as IGL is make sure you have at least $1,000 going into round 3.
Okay. I guess we'll find out soon enough if at the end of this round.
Got my calculator out.
Yeah, it doesn't find any kills, but I don't think they've gotten one yet. I think a kill is 150 into the pockets, so cash. That'll also throw off our math if we're not paying close enough attention. But either way, it is definitely going to be, I don't know, saving almost not really worth it here, right? I mean, you do lose a Spectral, but
not really planning to use a Spectral on next round anyway.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, I'm not sure if there's any merit to, he doesn't really have any util in hand either. Yeah. I think in the last 30 seconds, you're going to see him try to make a little something happen. At the very least, I think he's hoping to catch a little bit of over-aggression and be able to yoink maybe one of the rifles off of the opposing team, because that would make saving absolutely worth it.
I think that would be something we may have seen week 2. You know what I mean? But these players now, these guys are 4 games into the season, undefeated, both teams. So they're going to be playing everything pretty serious. As the flash comes in and the double swing from iBlame, the whole team really watching that doorway. They find that final kill, and the time ticks down as well for round 4 to go into the hands of the older guys. A so far impressive job from the older guys, Phil. What is the solution for Havoc here? This full buy round, obviously, right?
Yeah, technically this is going to be the first round where they actually get 5 Vezins in the hands of everybody. But yeah, I think your game plan is just pull out that first round magic. Just have Orchid clutch up in a 1v3 every time. I don't know why he doesn't just do that every round. It works so well. Why are they changing it up here?
Yeah, yeah, I think maybe we could. Not to say that they're not perfectly in sync, but we have seen teams really demonstrate very good coordination on their attacking rounds. So far, it feels like the rounds that have come close in particular have been sort of maybe clutch moments for this Havoc team. You know, the 1v3s where they do win, but still it's by just barely. To me, ultimately, it feels like the older guys have had a little bit more control of the series so far, and obviously that's reflected in the 3-1 scoreline, but still, it's kills coming through on both sides. Havoc really just need a coordinated round here. They need to be in sync on their entry points. They've shown actually that they can coordinate up on their pushes. So it's just a matter of execution. That's what ultimately these top tier games come down to. They spotted the trip mine, which is big. That could definitely have resulted in an early pick. And the drone going to continue to find out a little bit more information as Wabez is just going to take the damage. I mean, the trip mine isn't going to insta kill you, right?
No, one trip won't, and but I think he was trying to jiggle it. You can get it to go off and get back around the corner and take no damage, but it looks like that corner is a little bit penetrable. Noticed a couple spots recently where I've tried to do that and the corner is completely punishable, and 2 trip mines just killed me straight through a wall. So you got to watch out for some of that stuff. But yeah, I think this is a big round for Havoc to put on the board. The last gun round they did have 2 people with pistols. Ooh, aggression by I blame my aim out the outside the map, just leaning out the window and catching Hydra Wolf looking in towards Wine. But we are going to see the attack come into the A bomb site. He's going to foam up that wall, throws the breaching foam over to Wabez, who's going to foam up the other wall right away. And they do open up the A bomb site. Silent also drops.
Finds 1 kill there. Driblo holding the breach wall as Wabez peeks out to find the kill. iBlame tries to come around, but Venom's holding the backside. Scoops up iBlame. That's a big kill. EMP plant coming down as Crim Animosity swings for the retake, and Venom finds the shots over the top, and Havoc come in big on their full buy round because now they go into another full buy up against the older guys. They're going to have plenty of cash because they've been winning, but this is the chance to bring this 3-3. It's what they were trying to do with that eco to get to this stage. They executed on that attack very nicely. That's the coordination we needed to see from them as they did collapse into that objective. They had the flank being held by Venom ultimately, and a big round for them right now. We are into a solid back and forth here. What more can we ask for, Phil?
This is, dude, I'm loving this. I'm on the edge of my seat. I was suspecting that their chances were good that round because the last semi-gun round, it was Orchid who had Spectral in hand, and it ended up biting him as Silent managed to peek through, get the kill on his teammate. He wasn't able to save his teammate or himself as he got 180 flick shot to the head from the Vezin. So yeah, with full guns in everybody's hands, I like their chances there. And very clean execution from Wine into that A-bomb site. Beautiful, beautiful. Hoping to see some more. Let's see what they bring into this last round, as we're going to have, once again, another full buy from both teams. 10 Vezins on the server. Whew.
Yes, indeed. Round 6 kicking off the final round before we swap sides. As the attack here going to be orchestrated up onto that second floor. Lobby push coming in. I don't actually often see, I feel like, this window being breached, the one that Wabez has taken control of. More often it's the other side of the window. Venom
Fun
being...
fact.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last round, that was the window that I blame my aim peeked out of and shot Hydra outside the map on the back of Wine. Although it didn't actually get them the round to win. Hydra Wolf not spotting a lot with his drone, but he's got a second drone in hand, so he's going to re-drone in again now that his team has control of this lobby side. Probably going to push. Oh, it's a little bit of a botch nade. Falls down to the bottom floor, unfortunate. But they are going to see that nobody's playing this crate spot that I blame my aim played on the pistol round.
Well,
and it looks like
speaking of,
towards B.
I blame is roaming around on the bottom floor. It could be a effective swing to the back of Venom if they're not careful.
Absolutely. Let's see if Venom is aware. He's going to rotate back outside, but either way, I blame him. He's going to patiently wait for the perfect timing of the backstab. I like this, the way he's so patient on the lurk. He's waiting for his team to calm, that the crunch and the attack comes in from the front, so that he knows it's less likely for someone to be focused on the backside. Take notes if you're watching this at home, because that's exactly how you want to roam for your team.
Here comes Venom, crouched down enough and just pushes up in time. I blame just a hair late. This push could come in. The EMP plant could come in all before Blame pushes up, and here comes the breach. We're going to have to focus on the entry point because Blame isn't here yet. Venom finds the first kill. Driblo scoops up another through that doorway. The trip mine catches a double as they rotate in for the EMP plant, and then there's the kill to wrap things up. A rough round from the older guys. Oh, the plant did come down, actually.
Yep,
so they are going to...
It was a nice idea, well executed, to blow that hole, throw the flashes in, get just enough control to get the EMP down. But then I'm not sure where the trip went off. I don't know if they tried to push into the back of A or rotate around, but just the Crim Animosity with the double kill with the trip and then pushing forward and scooping up a triple. I blame my aim wasn't even needed on the backstab. They just cleaned up shop on the front.
And maybe, to your point, a risk not needed to be taken, because pushing into that, through that door blocker, they had already planted into the breached wall. You know, they didn't need to then also gain that control there. So they could have maybe stepped back, found iBlame behind them. Hey, hindsight's 50-50, or hindsight's 20-20, 50-50. Wow.
20-20, 50-50. Technically, they add up to the same.
And, you know, we obviously can see through the walls here, so we have a bit of a different perspective than these players. But regardless, a solid round coming in from the older guys.
Yep, that was a very clean hold. So their defense, they're no slouch on this map, like we said. But Havoc put a couple rounds on the board, and now they're going to be on the defending side. So if they can lock it down on pistol here and have a little bit of a smart investment, and then off of the back of that investment, take the second round, you're going to see a tie game very quickly. But it all comes down to this pistol. As you see a pre-nade coming through the garage window, trying to catch any over-aggression. The drone gets immediately taken out, doesn't get a lot of information. Counter nade coming through. It's not going to find any damage either. A third nade comes out, doesn't quite make it out the doorway. So it looks like they still are trying to crunch into this garage room. Explosion Max spotted out behind the van. There is someone behind him shooting through the front door. The headshot comes in. He's down to 8 health now. And Wabez trying to back him up. Also gets taken out. Good start. The aggression here. Finding the headshot on I Blame, though. Explosion was just 8 points of health, making it work.
Preventing the full entry into this garage from both sides. Venom's going to huck a health syringe over to him, and they're going to stick that in for another solid bit of, what is that, 70 HP into the pocket, as they will 80, as they will essentially come back to full HP, be able to continue to hold the garage. Venom might want that health syringe back soon enough after taking a couple of shots from Driblo, because there is still 2. Looking to push in, and here comes the push. The 1-2 punch over the top. It's a trade as Big Lunch tries to attack a Venom, and Venom holds down the garage. There's the retake from Krim, but Krim goes down over the top from Hyja, and it's a Havoc pistol round in the books. That's huge. They really needed this start. Now they can eco again in the next one. They can afford to lose. They'll be able to full buy for 2 more rounds. It just sets them up to be such a better position to be able to battle up against this 2-4 deficit that they've found themselves in. And I mean, we the defensive side, you know, that there is the consensus that you do have maybe a bit of an advantage on defense, but that all kind of depends on the objectives, in my opinion, in a lot of ways. And I feel like this one, depending on the breach style, can be really nicely attacked. I mean, we've seen some fantastic attack plans orchestrated here, and a variety of them, no less. So, like, what is the best way to defend the gym right here that we're about to move into?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different ideas that go into it. The meta, of course, being so young, still being grinded out, and I've seen a couple of different ideas, but there's some mind games that go to it because there's different attacking ideas. There's this idea you see a lot of teams now implementing a huge crunch onto the storage room side, and if you get clean control of this storage room, down beneath, where Wabez and Venom are hiding, if you get clean control as the attackers of this spot, and then optionally blow the hole through the wall onto the site, you can get a pretty safe plant for that storage room, and it's almost curtains because the defending team then has to push into your attack, as we see an instant double breach on both the gym wall and the storage room hatch. It looks like they are going to crunch onto the speed bomb site. Double flashes come through. I Blame drops in, and there's a nade. Shots coming through as they do look like they want to crunch onto the storage side. I Blame finds it onto Wabez, but the trades come out. I Blame finding his second, finally going down to Venom, and now it's down to a 2v2. And you've got Silent and Driblo. Oh, and Explosion Max with that Vezin buy is going to come in huge there. Bring it down to a 1v2, as now it's just Silent being outside the gym wall.
The static emitter
above the hatch.
So
that's really slowed him down.
It really hurt the breach. They could not sync up on their entry into storage, and Silent is just going to try and find the headshots on Explosion, and then that hatch drop could come in. They have to rotate in for the double. They do get outside before that nade comes through. They do get a little bit of a heal. Explosion just challenges with the Vezin. They dive out of the gym door, and that's going to be another round for Havoc. 4-4 as we go into round 9.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see the back and forth, because you saw on the attack side Havoc having a similar idea, and the older guys were also able to shut it down. So I think as the meta is evolving and the teams are starting to figure out which offensive strategies are working, now on the defense they're adapting and learning how to defend against said strategies. So as the hatches and the wall gets blown, you're just seeing the preparedness from Havoc coming out, tying it up 4-4. And the meta is just going to have to shift back and forth on both sides. It's exciting to see, because at the end of the day, it really just comes down to who's hitting the shots. And the positioning just gives you the best opportunity to do that.
Yeah, the attacking rounds in particular, requiring the most coordination with these teams, just because of how evenly matched we seem to be here. I mean, this is the first time we really have had this much of a back and forth to start off a series. As we do go in to round 9, it is going to be this push into the double doors, the nade underneath to get rid of the static emitter. No, iBlame drops it at their feet, takes 3/4 damage. That grenade would have been so good. It would have gotten the static emitter, it would have gotten the door blocker, it would have breached that doorway. Oh, what an unfortunate drop.
Yeah, now Animosity is going to have to pump in a lot of the ammo that you get to start with. Dribblo getting picked up through the garage door. You don't get that many reloads with the Taurus, and him having to drop a few clips into that door blocker does actually... You could see an effect if this round gets drawn out as he finds a kill on Explosion Max. Now we're into a 4v4 situation. Rifle in the hands of 3 members on the older guys. So definitely this map could go anyone's way, especially if they manage to push in, get control of the garage, and get that 4th rifle into the hands of Animosity. And it looks like we're seeing a lot of teams favoring the push towards this garage side. I like it a lot because once you do get full garage control, the only flank position you got to worry about is Hydra Wolf manages to, or gets dropped by on the flank there. I wasn't sure where that was, but
Silent came in through the window, found the kill on the backside, and now Wabez is trying to fend off the double breach because it's coming. iBlame sends that first charge in, and they know Wabez pings, hey, it's coming through, and there's the push, nicely timed. They find the double from Silent over the top, and it's down to just Venom in a 1v3. The older guys coming back on the attack. Can Venom end up with the retake? iBlame pretty low on health that don't seem to have... Oh, as I just said, they pick up a health syringe, and Venom comes charging into A.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying about that garage side push. You can focus a lot of your efforts in towards the B bomb site because there's only one little doorway through the garage that the enemy team can flank you without going outside and getting pinged to everybody on the map. So, bit of a tough 1v3 retake here from Venom as the contestation points are now limited to 3. And if they back up into the garage where they've planted for, it pretty much limits it to 2. You can either come in from the B bomb site or wrap around from the garage. As we get another botched nade. This has not been the best round for grenades for either of these 2 teams. Venom managing to escape any damage, but managing to do nothing but give away his position with that.
At this point, you might as well just eco. Yeah, the EMP didn't have a whole lot of time left. 3 holding down the objective, and a rifle ultimately going into the hands of the older guys if they didn't already have 3 in their hands, and the round going into their pocket as well. It looks like Havoc ultimately don't have enough for a full buy here, so they may have to eco, which puts them at set point to defend for the next 3 rounds after this. So... Are they going to eco? No, they're not. They're full buying.
Looks like they're going to play for the win here. Yeah, like you said, you give up this round, that puts the older guys on map point. The best you can do at that point is a tie. And it looks like they're going to go for the win. I kind of like this call. They've had success with this bomb site on the top floor before. So if they can put a couple of Vipers to work, just a Spectral in the hands of Venom. So a little bit of economic insurance going into the next round. Should you lose a couple bodies, be able to keep that momentum going, hopefully. But yeah, let's see what they've got. Just a door blocker. I don't know where the trip mines went out. Let me get if I can roam around. I saw a couple of trip mines bought up. So let's see if we have another creative trip mine setup that can catch another double kill for them like it did last round. Patch getting blown instantly. Actually can't find them. That'd be great, a spectator feature to be able to press a button and see where all of the utility is placed.
Ooh.
See another drone coming in from, who is that? I'm thinking of Hydra Wolf was the droner for Havoc, but this is the older guys on attack this time. Drone working all the way into the A bomb site. And finally gets taken out. I don't believe it spotted Venom there on the left, but he saw Wabez behind the bomb site. And you see all 5 members of the attack pushing in towards this A bomb site. Foam is up on the wall. Second drone coming through. Really going to try and get that extra bit of information as he dives right onto the A bomb site again. He's live pinging out the Wabez, making sure he's still there. Looking the wrong way. I don't know if he spotted Venom looking into the shower side, but they got enough control to get the EMP planted as Dribblo on that headshot glitch from way in the back is catching the pick on Explosion Max through the connector. Rotation comes in, but the EMP is down. You see both Waybaz and Venom in on this bomb site as Hydra Wolf tries to work around the other side, and Orchid coming in with the flank from underneath. He manages to find I Blind My Aim, but getting traded out by Big Lunch. Now it's a 3v4. Waybaz finding the aggression to peek. He's looking for Silent around the corner. Oh, but he looks the other way, and doesn't matter. Dribblo's there to protect him. 2v4, and now a 1v3 as the last two trades come in, and now it's just Venom. Position pinged out into the shower. Bit of a tough spot. They're playing for the win here, so he's going to go for it. You know he's not going to save because they fully bought into this. It's do or die, and he's going to get scooped up by Venom. So map point for the older guys here for Hideout.
You know, I got to wonder if they needed to do that, because ultimately you can still fall back on plan B, which is save, tie the map, right? Like that's still a Vezin in your hands, and they had enough. If they could have saved that Vezin, they could have bought another one for their team, so they could have had two kitted Vezins. Instead, they do have to spend most of their cash buy into one, and you know it's just is it going to make the difference? Who knows? But at this stage, it's 5 fully kitted older guys barreling down onto the attack in our what could be final round of map number 1. Certainly a barn burner, but the older guys are giving Havoc Esports a run for their money here this afternoon. And I would love to see it. This is exactly what we were hoping for out of our first week 4 matchup, for me at least, of the week. I think it's the first one we've cast, and ultimately it is an exciting one. We actually have quite a few casts lined up this throughout the course of this week already, so there is quite a bit to look forward to. If you haven't already, hit the sub button, just like I blame, hit the nade button, and found the first kill on the Wabez.
He finally got that nade to get under the doorway that time. A little bit more success from last time, but Venom managing to find Silent with that, putting that Vezin to work. And the EMP is actually down now. Looks like he peeked out the bottom floor A window, maybe. Now EMP is down. The Vezin is not quite recoverable, so they're not going to get the gun out of it. But trading down to a 4v4 is good. Now, playing a little bit tight, but unfortunately, I blame with the wall spam finds Hydra Wolf on the B bomb site there. Never even saw him, just straight up murked him through the wall. That's just not even fair.
Yeah, it's guesswork, and sometimes it pays off as they find a bit of an equalizing kill there to get, actually put them back up into the advantage. And B site getting set up for the breach. Utility in hand for I blame. The breaching foam down onto B, and Splosion Max going to be the one that has to hold this breach down as they tuck into the corner. I blame comes in. There's the 1-2 tap over the top. They're going to scoop up the Vezin. Now they've got a fully kitted Vezin to defend B with on the back corner, and that's going to put a bit of a slow in Dribblo's push.
Dribblo with the active camo on that perk with just his head, his camouflaged head peeking right through the crack between the toolbox and that crate there. Managing to find that kill. Beautifully played, as now it's all down to Orchid. He's going to try to find the timing here. The audio cue, I don't believe he's going to check the corner where Big Lunch is at. Finds a Vezin in hand, 1v2. It's all going to come down to this hard clear on this right corner. He does clear it, but Big Lunch hits the shot. What a beautiful shot by Big Lunch. And that's going to be the first map on Hideout, going the way of the older guys, 7-4. Beautiful start to this epic matchup of the first and second seeded teams so far on the leaderboards. Couldn't ask for more out of the map 1. I don't know about you, but that was a thoroughly fantastic joy to watch.
Oh yeah, it's gotten me excited for the rest of this series, because now we go into map number 2, and in this, I don't know where we're headed just yet. We're waiting on the votes to come in, but I can expect more of this at the very least. A stellar, resilient effort from Havoc Esports. They start strong, and ultimately older guys say, hey, we're here to play. 3 on the board right after that first pistol loss. A hard-fought battle to get all the way to that 4-2. I mean, almost bringing it 3-3, and ultimately I really don't know where we're headed with this map number 2 in terms of who I have at advantage. You know, if Havoc are going to go in on defense and older guys are going to be attacking to start things off, I do think maybe that's going to be what Havoc need. It looks like we're going to Factory for map number 2. And so defense on Factory, it's not necessarily as strong as maybe Skyscraper, in my opinion, but that is obviously still a very opinionated sort of concept, right? Even the fact that the idea that the defense has any kind of advantage can be argued depending on what team you're talking about, right? And so it's it is, I think, something we'll see as a concrete idea in week 6 and 7 when we have the stats. You know, we'll see very clearly how teams are doing on what side and what maps. We'll have all of that metrics to tap into. So I'm actually looking forward, again, to even future weeks. You know, we talked week 4 is going to be it for the games, and so far, certainly delivering. But week 6, 7, that's going to be it for the stats, the analytics. That's when we can start diving into things, and we can jump into Season 1 with references and past match history, and it's just there's so much to look forward to, Phil. You know, there's a lot of Phil content for us.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, you know, and being how young the game is, even those analytics that we have are going to be taken a grain of salt, because the smallest thing, the smallest adjustment, the smallest idea from any team's defensive or offensive setup can change the whole shift of the meta, or even the smallest little patch by Triangle Factory. By the way, shout out to Triangle Factory for making such an awesome game for us to be watching here tonight. Even though the smallest balance adjustment can change the whole dynamic of the meta. So very excited to see what the future holds. I am right there with you. Ooh, map 2. Let's start a race again. Here we go.
We're into it. And if you are enjoying the action as much as we are, please do hit that subscribe button. We'd love to see you coming around for more games, as there are tons of games coming up this week. That should be some, I mean, tomorrow we have another fantastic matchup, I would expect, of equal caliber to this, if not more so. We can definitely be looking forward to that, but hit the sub button so you know what games are coming up when, and you never miss an action of high-tier breachers, because there is going to be a lot of it over the next couple of weeks, especially as we get into that the later weeks, week 6, 7. That's when you really want to start to tune into the high-tier matches, but we're tuning into one right now. We're into one right now with round 1, Phil, and already we're seeing a lot of utility come in, static emitters, frags into the hands of Animosity. Not really much saving going on.
Yeah, and Big Lunch has gotten a drone all the way into this locker side. He's got a ping out on Wabez's position, but hasn't seen much more other than that. Now spots 2 just as the drone finishes up there. And yeah, first pick comes out from Venom, though, finding Kerm Animosity. Being maybe a little over-aggressive, getting ahead of his teammates there, maybe trying to follow up with the drone as Blame My Aim has worked his way towards that back hallway, and it looks like it's going to be a crunch onto the blue hall side. Passing that breaching foam over. Looks like they are planning to blow this wall onto A. Foam comes in. Let's see what happens. What we got in store for round 1. The older guys starting on attack now. So Havoc want to get off to a nice little lead here in round 1. They've got the man advantage. Can they lock down the A bomb site here? Jiggle peeks from Big Lunch coming through the vending machine side.
And shots firing off. Just over the top there of Aija, almost connecting, as Venom is getting eager to peek out and find some blood, as they do find that first kill. Everything held in, though, by Silent and Big Lunch on the back end. They're not quite barreling through the doorways yet. I Blame also could take a long angle here, but isn't. They could breach the that last wall into the objective, but they don't, and instead they find Splosion. They look for Wabez in the double, and Aija is called in for reinforcements here on the B entry point. The static emitter, thankfully, is still down as I Blame drops back, and so far, no entry for I Blame. Silent finds Venom. There's the trade. I Blame goes down inside A, and it's a 2v2 as Orchid tries to hold things down. Big Lunch and Silent on the attack.
That's right. I Blame is in a really good position to do some damage. Wabez barely getting that healing syringe in time, but finally getting shut down. Nade comes through. It's a good nade doesn't quite find any damage. Unlucky bounce, but I'm not sure if they're aware of Orchid's position. I don't think they are. As the repeat comes in and catches Big Lunch by surprise, he manages to find Silent, and it's all down to Big Lunch. 36 points of health remaining. Cyclone in hand finds the first one, but the drop shot from Wabez is going to shut down the first round, and that's exactly what Havoc we're looking for. Get off to this first half with that pistol round win, get a little bit of an economic advantage going into the second round, and if all goes well, hopefully go up 2-0 into the first full buy round. But can't count the older guys out yet. We've seen it before. Even with just pistols in hand, looks like we've got one Vezin in the hands of Wabez. Not sure. Venom is thinking about it. If they're gonna go, I think this is the meta that you're seeing with the buy phase. On the second round, it's 1 or 2 Vezins on the hand of the winning team because it gives you a little bit of bonus or a little bit of advantage in that second round. And if as long as you win it clean enough with 2 people surviving at the end of the round, you can take both of those Vezins into round 3 and get the full buy round. I like this strategy from Havoc. Let's see if they can pull it off.
So far, so good. They are set up for a solid bit of a future. But it is, again, like, you know, risky buying into that Vezin still, even in this round 2, especially if you're the only one doing it.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I kind of think buying 2 makes sense. As you see both Venom and Explosion buying up here, because it gives you that extra, you know, that one Vezin's a bit of a gamble. Oh, as the trip mine does manage to find Blame My Aim, and Dribblo also dropping. Really good start, really clean start from Havoc. I don't think anyone's taken a single point of damage into the second round. So those Vezin binds clearly working. But yeah, having that second Vezin just gives you that extra level of insurance in case something like this happens. Explosion drops with the Vezin in hand and nobody's there to pick it up. You're not giving up the full gun advantage over to the older guys. The rotations come in. They do manage to scoop the Vezin back up into the hands of Team Havoc. And Orchid also in a great position to catch this aggression. Big Lunch trades him up, but the damage is done. Healing syringe in hand, so he's going to be able to top himself back up. But now 1v3, and Venom wants to get aggressive, and he's going to find the final kill. And just like that, clean 2-0. 3 people left alive. They get both the Vezins, and now the full gun round for round 3. We're probably going to see 10 Vezins if I had to guess.
It's that defensive start for them, the perfect defensive start. They go up 2-0. We've seen older guys, though, bounce back. We've seen them be a resilient team in the face of rounds going into their opponent's hands. And right now they certainly are getting their first real test as they are going to have to full buy, but it's that minimal full buy, right? Because you can't even really get a fully kitted out Vezin. So maybe they have one player not buying into one, and so then you don't have really the full buy. And in this case, we've seen this before. 2 players are not full buying. So you're actually only getting 3 Vezins, 2 Tauruses, which ultimately are still pretty effective, but obviously a bit harder to utilize as well as effectively as a Vezin.
Yeah, I like this. I actually do like this buy strategy because if you do manage to just kit out Vezins in everyone's hands and use a person or 2, like 1 person just to get everybody the attachments, you don't have a lot of utility going into this round. So they want at least a drone, if not 2, with Big Lunch throwing in the first drone. I'll see a second drone at his feet, but having the drone to get you guys a little bit of entryway into that initial breach is just so valuable. Free chance to get information without risking dropping a body. And so here they know on the top floor roam, the entire lockers is clear for free. Unfortunately, though, this trip mine from Venom on the bottom of the staircase is going to catch Blame My Aim. And that is a huge opening frag. Blame My Aim, we've known to be one of the star players for this team. But can't count them out yet. Especially not if somebody can recover that Vezin, as Dribblo is rotating around.
Whoa!
Oh, unfortunate. It looks like Wabez trying to get a little pre-fire, and Hydra Wolf peeked in front of the pre-fire, causing Wabez to do enough team damage to kill himself. Very unfortunate there. Nade coming through the hatch is going to push Hydra off, but they have a nice crossfire between Venom and Hydra on this A bomb site. It is going to be a bit of a tough push from this orange staircase where we see 3 members. Oh, Orchid manages to find Orchid on the flank from the bottom of the orange staircase is going to find Dribblo. Now it's 3v4. Grim Animosity still hasn't managed to get a rifle in his hands. So a bit of a tough third round here for the older guys. And you got to wonder, at this point, is there any chance that they might decide to save with 4 members strong alive for Havoc? If they don't find an opening pick here within the next 30 seconds, this round is going to be getting more and more difficult as time winds down.
Yeah, there is the breaching charge that gets picked up, the utility that gets scooped up and thrown in, and still the Vezin finally into the hands of Krim. So it's a fully equipped older guys squad trying to make the push as Hydra goes in, and a nade comes in over the top from Venom with a big double. It's 3-0 for Havoc Esports on map 2. And this is a bit more of a commanding lead than we saw coming in from the older guys when they started their defensive rounds in map 1.
Yeah, you'd love to see this if you're a Havoc fan. I mean, starting 3-0 here on the first half of Factory, completely different story from Hideout. And yeah, and the economic damage is also done, as it looks like we might be seeing the older guys falling into the time-old trap of not actually getting a full buy round, but still investing into every round. There's 3 rounds left to go. You can only afford 2 Vezins here. I don't know if it's worth investing that money now or saving, because with look at how much utility and weaponry there is, and there's 4 syringes also on the side of Havoc. For those of you a little bit newer to the game, you're only allowed to buy a maximum of 2 syringe charges for your team, but there's no cap to how many you're allowed to bring back. Each character can bring 2 utility pieces with them from the previous round. So you see 2 people managing to bring double syringes back. They have 4 syringes to work with. All the utility. I don't know if 2 Vezins and a little bit of util into this round is going to be enough. And at the amount they've invested next round, you're not going to be able to buy 5 Vezins again. So bit of a trick or a trap, I should say, that you can get stuck in, full buying every round for the rest of the half and not being able to get all that money. But all you need to do is win 1 round, and that whole story changes.
Connect 2 spectral shots to the head of your opponent, and down they go. It is sometimes a matter of luck, a matter of skill, but ultimately it has been a solid back and forth this afternoon. Although, a beautiful nade that's going to force Crim off, does huge damage. Crim doesn't go down, but they're going to be a bullet away, and Venom will find that kill to start things off for Havoc.
Yeah, beautiful start. The nade forcing him out of position. No one quite there to finish him off, but they do manage to catch him before he gets tucked safely back behind that vending machine. And yeah, 3 members there to back him up from the older guys. Still 2 rifles in hand, so you can't quite count them out. They just need that opening pick to get this round started. But of course, Havoc not going to give them an inch to work with. So I blame my aim from the rooftop, rotates back around towards his team. Looks like they're all going to stack into this blue hallway side and once again try to force the issue here onto the A bomb site.
Curious to see if it is going to be an effective tactic. The utility available includes a flashbang and a breaching foam, so they could actually open up the other door to A if they can swing around, and they can. Relatively uncontested if they just get the breaching foam over there, and Venom may not allow that as they tuck in over the top. Look for the kill, and Driblo finds a big connection. Venom goes down on objective. It may open up the entry as counter utility comes in over the top. A incendiary from Orchid to deny entry through the main doorway as Big Lunch, Driblo, and Silent are all still fishing for a way to break through into A, looking for picks over the top as Hyja Wolf fends them off through that broken door. Where is the last attacker? It's I Blame My Aim, who is considering rotating around and charging into this offense through the door. And here they are, inside the server room, Spectral in hand.
Yeah, coming in through that generator, that's going to force a couple of these members to turn around. Wabaz is aware, and he manages to clean him up pretty quickly, so not a lot of value there. And this electrostatic charge right through this hole in the door is just doing so much work for Havoc here, because you can't make a fast play through there without shooting that static. And as soon as you start to shoot the static, Orchid is in position to peek around the lab desk, and he finds Big Lunch doing just that. Tucks himself back into the corner. So once again, Driblo finding a couple of picks himself, so it brings it down to a 2v2. They know Orchid is in the back of this bomb site. Wabez is getting pinged out as well, so they seem to have all the information necessary. EMP in hand, but with only 10 seconds left, he's going to have to force the issue. 5 seconds remaining. There's no time to plant. And Wabez smartly rotating around. That's going to be the round going over to Havoc. Situational awareness. Good wherewithal from him to back out of that fight, knowing he just killed the EMP planter. All I got to do is survive.
That is so hard to do when you are under the gun like this, when the pressure is on, when you're trying to get back into the series, when you're down a map and you need map 2 to set you up for that map 3 win so you can take the full series. There is pressure on the line. This is your undefeated streak on the line here, and Havoc, just to have that, to be aware of the timer even at that stage, just a very solid job. Obviously, again, players that are very knowledgeable about this game and are very comfortable playing this even when the pressure is on. Super fun to see here in week 4 already, and it's got me excited to think about the future of the entirety of VRML with this game, as we're really seeing some great plays coming through so far today.
Yeah, that's right. Definitely a little bit of pressure mounting. It looks like Dribblo is going to opt not to drop a rifle for his teammate. They had just enough, with Dribblo saving the rifle from last round, they had just enough to actually get 4 Vezins going into this round, which was a bit surprising to me. We're going to see a bit of instant nades coming through on the orange staircase side. But yeah, still 3 Vezins in hand. Can't count them out yet. And you can't let the pressure mount too high because you did get that first map in the bag. So even if you
Right.
lose here on map 2, you've always got that map 3 insurance policy to come back and win it out on Skyscraper. We're going to see Crim Animosity with the Spectral in hand pushing in through this orange closet and holding down towards the electric side. Maybe just a little bit of patience here, baiting out the over-aggression, but there's not much aggression in the defensive setup of Team Havoc. They've got 4 members tucked tight into the bomb sites, 1 back in the connector, and Explosion Max on the roam upstairs, just waiting to find a timing around here on the lobby side. Silent rotating back around the outside. Crim Animosity working his way into the storage room. He's going to, I believe they blew a hatch somewhere there. They blew the hatch onto
A.
Onto A? The wall. Yeah, they blew the wall onto A. My bad. Dribblo finds the first pick on a Venom. That's going to open things up for him. 5v4 now. Proxy sensor gets destroyed. Animosity. The stealth in hand. Explosion Max still patiently waiting here on the second floor. Waiting for the call from his team to come out saying, the hit is happening. It's time for the backstab.
Orchid is holding A down. Yeah, I was wondering, is there anyone on A? And now there isn't. As Silent flies through the breached wall, no one covering the A site. Hyja trying to crash back, and the older guys with 5 alive. This is a perfect offensive push in. And
beautiful backstab. I blame my aim, and I don't know who the other guy was, but they blew the wall towards the warehouse side and came into the back of A. While all the attack was focused on the front, Explosion still upstairs, manages to find one, but his position now given away. 2v5 situation. Wabes finding Crim Animosity on the other side, now 2v3. Maybe this retake is looking a little bit more possible. Explosion taking his time, but that EMP has been planted, so pressure is on to Team Havoc.
Are they saving?
Plenty of money. I don't know if there is much merit to saving here because this is the second to last round and you have so much money already. There's full rifles in the hands of the older guys. I think the only value you can get out of this round is taking those rifles away from the older guys or winning the round. You already have a full buy into the last round no matter what you do here. But it looks like they are just going to play for exits and opt to try to do that economic damage. Wabes is posted up in this B bomb site and Explosion are on the backside, but there's no aggression from the older guys to punish. Bit of an anticlimactic finish, but not an anticlimactic round as the older guys get their first round on the board here on Factory. Looking at a 4-1 scoreline going into the last round.
3 left alive. Everyone guns in hand. They are full set up for a full buy here going into the last round before we swap sides and do that economic reset. And yeah, I gotta wonder what the play will look like here. Are they gonna try and replicate their breach into A? It's interesting to me that we haven't seen the double breach into A. I feel like if you can get that second wall open, it really enables quite a few different EMP plant options. It forces defensive rotations, but maybe it's just too challenging to get into.
Yeah, I was looking at that. The other round, there was a pick onto, who was it that poked their head? Was it Venom that poked their head up into that little closet over and got killed, and there was a rifle down, and I'm wondering if there was merit to rotating around and blowing that hatch wall. But the reason I think we haven't seen that is because of the amount of presence that Havoc is putting into this locker room side. So if you try to push under the hatch and blow that wall, there's an angle through lockers where you're just getting backstabbed. Trying to foam that wall, you kind of have to have control of the locker side of the map to make that happen. But we're getting into this last round. The hatch immediately getting blown. We're going to see Big Lunch with the drone. Gets immediately popped. Unfortunate, but he's got a backup drone. He's going to immediately drop in. And let's see what he can find. As it's a bit of a pinch through the hatch. He's going to spot a nice little double trip setup underneath the hatch here. Crim Animosity works his way in towards that vending machine side. Once again, taking control of this blue hallway side. This seems to be the favored choice of the older guys on the attack. Bit of a paced start to this round.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Hyja is sitting bottom floor. Another trap planted by Havoc that they're waiting to spring. They have a couple of them, and that's what makes this so challenging to breach into, is that Havoc are actually very crafty with their information and how they utilize it, at least so far in this series.
With the double trip under the hatch, the trips were placed a little bit too close together, but this is what I was talking about. The pressure from the locker room side is going to make it so difficult to clip the clean foam onto that wall. And the nade, the team nade, I blame my aim, unfortunately, not finding that nade on what was looking like such a promising little entryway, as they found a sneaky way to drop through the hatch without triggering the trip mines. And it all crumbles off of the hands of just one unfortunate nade. I blame my aim's got to be kicking himself. But this is the last round. 2v4 situation. Not a lot to work with, but they have to make this happen. They got to go for this.
Going to be a tall order, to say the least. They at least both have Vezins in hand, a health syringe, and the EMP. So they have the tools they need. They lack the information. And A, ultimately, is kind of open, especially with Grim scooping up Orchid before they make their way through. They also have the breaching foam set if they wanted to open A up a little bit more, but they haven't quite yet, as it looks like Big Lunch is just watching the Overwatch. The EMP plant's coming down. The crouch shots from Wabez connect onto Animosity, and an nade over the top from Big Lunch finishes things off. Havoc will take our 6th round and go up 5-1. The EMP plant didn't come through all the way, and we swap sides. Is 1 point enough for the older guys to rally here on defense?
Well, if you're the older guys, you just got to take this one round at a time. Shake off. The score doesn't matter. All that matters is winning the pistol. You win the pistol, you buy a couple rifles for round 2, you get up to 3-5, and then it's not looking like such a huge deficit, but it all comes down to the pistol. That was a beautiful response there from Havoc. I love the way that retake happened. You know, it looked like finally taking Orchid down in the back of that bomb site, because he was causing so much difficulty for them in previous rounds. And they managed to get enough control to get a clean plant, but the response was just, as soon as the plant started to go down, the retake came in, the first shot came out, and the beautiful nade from Venom over the top. Just, a thing of beauty. Like artwork.
Yeah, this Havoc team is looking good this afternoon on Hideout. I mean, on Factory, what a change from Hideout. You know, it's a completely different team, and again, it has me thinking back. We're still so young, we're still so fresh in this esports space, in this game. We're still figuring out that maybe some teams are really bad or really good on certain maps. You know what I mean? And that's certainly something that could be the case here this afternoon. It could be that defense is maybe a little bit more favorable on Factory. We'll find out with these next couple of rounds, although it looks like Havoc are not over-aggressive on this first pistol round on the reset.
Yeah, a bit of a pace start. 3 members of Havoc working towards this orange side. And I like the defensive spread here from the older guys. They've got Cream Animosity kind of in the back of the warehouse side. Blame my aim on a nice little roam in the lobby. And then Silent and Big Lunch. Silent and Driblo holding down the A bomb site, while Big Lunch holding down the B bomb site. So they've got all of their bases covered here. And backstab potential on either side, as the wall is going to get blown through the storage room. They do have full control of this whole orange side of the map, but I blame my aim in the perfect position to sneak around the back, and he is going to find his timing, and he's going to catch Venom off guard, and that's going to be a 5v3 man advantage as Venom gets picked up by the backstab. All 3 members now from Havoc in this storage room side. EMP still in hand, but they haven't managed to find any openings. No gaps in the armor so far for the defense on the older guys. So this map is not over yet.
Yeah, B's not going to be an easy entry point for them. Big Lunch is tucked in, and here to hold things down, Dribblo can retake through the doorway, and that utility piece does not connect. A minute left on the clock, so the push is going to have to come in soon, and Dribblo is ready to counter that push if it comes through. What they're not ready for is if that wall is breached at A. That would be a big breach if they had the foam to do it, and I think Hyja does, but they're not going to go for it. EMP is in Hyja's hand as well, and they're looking to challenge Big Lunch. That incendiary almost forces Big Lunch off of their position as Orchid pushes through and finds the kill. B open for a plant. This could be 200 into Havoc's pocket. It could set them up beautifully for their offensive rounds here as the plant comes in. Hyja pistol up, finds Crim Animosity. It's 2 more pushing in, and they don't get the full plant. With 3 left alive for older guys, it's the pistol round nicely into their hands here. We're going to go into another pistol round for our next one, but still, that is a big win to start off what is going to have to be 6 undefeated rounds in a row if they want to take this map.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was clean, very well done. Unfortunately, only one member of the other guys is going to have enough money for the Vezin buy, and he looks like he's going to just stick with the Spectral. I think, especially being down 2-5, this is the best opportunity to invest a little bit of an insurance policy into winning this round, because you don't want to let Havoc get on a map point this early. But still, a very clean start. I love the way that Big Lunch was playing on that bomb site, tucked in behind the boxes. And, you know, in a 5v3 situation, when you have the man advantage, a big mistake you see a lot of people make is getting over aggressive and trying to find more of those 3 remaining kills to try to seal the round out. When really the only way that those 3 remaining members can get back into the round is by getting opening picks and cracking open one of the bomb sites. And by peeking and trying to get those kills, you're giving them the opportunity to do exactly that. But Big Lunch there just staying so disciplined, tucking right behind the box, forcing the attackers to push into the bomb site where his team could then surround and crunch and just let the bullets fly into the meat grinder as we get into this 8th round here on Factory. See what Havoc bring to the table on the attacking side.
Set up for a, I don't know what you'd call this, hatch breach, at least it does seem. The window option available as well. The doorway there that Orchid may ultimately breach, but I do like the setup having Orchid on the Overwatch. You don't normally want to push these windows without having at least a couple of eyes to protect from a push through it. A nade comes in to ultimately clear out any potential onlookers to this entry point, and Havoc are fully in to the A-bomb site. If they can get the right breaching foam down, they could get in good control here as Dribblo pops up and springs a trap. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Silence still alive on the back end, peeks out for another kill.
Idrolf going for the foam with 1 health. Any bullet through this wall or a little nick from that fire nade would have killed him. But yeah, it is going to be the wall spam coming through. And that's going to leave Orchid and Venom in the 2 versus 3 situation. So the fight going down in the locker room. Interesting to see a different tendency for these 2 teams, as Havoc seem to prefer taking on the locker room side, coming in with a little backstab through Orange, finally breaking that door blocker as Orchid. And Venom now picking up the breaching foam is finally going to drop this wall. Orchid works his way into the locker room, and it's 2 versus 4 now, excuse me, as this attacking pistol round, or second pistol round, getting a little bit chaotic. A bit back and forth, but definitely the other guys coming out on top of it so far.
Just on the cusp of the final minute of round 8, Orchid and Venom going to have to make their entries in, and it's not going to be unknown. The static emitters down here as well. Orchid just does not have an easy way through the door. The flash is here, and instead they end up both rotating through the breached door, but where is the push? The plant's coming in from Venom, but the shot's blind through the smoke connect. And they can't get the 200 that they were looking for with that plant. Orchid is getting completely pinched as Crim Animosity fires rounds through the unbreached wall. And 30 seconds left for the pistol to work through 4 on defense here.
Yeah, almost like time was the time pressure getting to the team of Havoc. You know, still with 30-some seconds left on the clock. I don't think you have to force the plant issue that hard, but that's probably the only smoke grenade they have remaining. It's kind of tough to let that opportunity go completely to waste, as Orchid choosing not to tap, perhaps trying to get a little bit of surprise aggression, but the triple crossfire from Team Older Guys is just absolutely going to shut him down there. So 3-5 now. And all of a sudden, like I said, going into the first gun round, that score deficit is not nearly as daunting. And you're on defense. So all you got to do is win this next round and very likely to force Team Havoc into another economic save round. And you win that save round, now you're tied 5-5. So this is exactly what the Older Guys have been looking for. But they've got to win this gun round here. This is a crucial round.
For
we
both
see 10
sides.
Bezins.
Yeah, heavy investments coming in, and if either one loses, it's the next few rounds into the hands, or at least into the other team in control going into the next few rounds. And so, yeah, this is maybe even the determining round of this series. Although the Older Guys do have a bit of a longer road to go than Havoc do. Still, it is so far a solid defensive hold, and I've seen in chat a couple of folks weighing in as they note that they feel that attacking is very difficult on Factory. Several folks calling out that it is potentially possible here that the Older Guys could come out on top. 7-5 was a prediction I saw, which is certainly possible. But again, it comes down, in my opinion, to this round right now. And Venom not able to full buy, so they're not actually 5 Vezins in the hands of Havoc right now.
Yes, my mistake. 9 Vezins on the server, I should have said.
Oh, well.
And I blame my aim on the lurk. Unfortunately, going to get picked up as it looks like we're seeing all 5 members of Team Havoc taking this upper floor. And if they can get, if they can get that rifle into the hands of Venom, that is going to be 5 rifles in their hands. Venom is going to work his way around and pick that up. So looks like they have full control of the hatches now. And they're going to blow this hatch over A. Not sure if they'll blow the hatch onto storage, but let's see what the attacking plan is for the side of Havoc here in round 9.
It's all about the execution, especially in this series. That's what it comes down to. How do you push in? How do you execute your play together as a team? I think a lot of teams tend to utilize the time as their indicator for when things should be happening so that they can coordinate together on their rotations and pushes. As you definitely do want to have when something breaches, you're pushing into the other door at the same time. It's all about the overwhelming of your opponent. I gotta wonder if Silent's gonna catch out a couple of offensive rotators here from Wabez and Orchid. The static emitter is down, so maybe an indicator that someone is in here, but still, they've got a nice lockdown around every different objective, A and B, both looking well defended.
Yeah, definitely still a solid discipline here from the Older Guys. They've been ready for this hatch to be blown. Once the lurk gets taken out, you have to know the hatches could be blown any second. That nade coming through, doing a lot of damage on a big lunch. But yeah, Silent definitely in a good position here to catch Orchid coming through. And he's had, at the very least, he's had those audio cues for his team. So the information has been there. And the damage is now done as it equalizes to a 4 versus 4. Silent rotates back around through the assembly side. You got Hydra Wolf and Venom still working above the hatch. And Wabez Explosion now in on this orange hallway as the wall gets blown. And they're going to be a hatch drop. They're crunching in on the A. The plant's immediately coming down, but the counter aggression comes through. Big Lunch manages to find Hydra Wolf, but Venom trades him out. And Venom dropping in and finding Big Glow. Now down to a 2v2. They have control, but the bomb is not yet planted. The EMP, excuse me. Cream Animosity finds Explosion. Now it's just down to Venom. Venom in the perfect position to spot Animosity. The damage coming through, but not finding the kill. And the backstab coming through from Silent. Is Venom going to be ready for this? It's all down to Silent. He did kill Orchid earlier, so he should know that this is where he was last seen. I don't see the pings coming out, but the plant gets finished. The wall spam almost finding its mark. 24 points of health, and now he's going to vault out of the window. This is the power of this plant. The plant not quite far enough over for Venom to cover it from the window. Silent still spending that smoke grenade. This plant, this diffuse here, this is a fake diffuse, we know, but it is going to cause a lot of pressure. Silent looks like he's actually wanting to defuse, but struggling to get the bomb to cooperate. And you're going to see some aggression from Silent here. I think he might be able to stick this. Is he going to stick it? Does he have the read? Looks like he's having some struggle. Unfortunately, glitches coming out. This is so unfortunate to watch.
He doesn't want to get too close to it. He's trying to stay so far away, but they are going to get the defuse right under the nose of Venom. And that is going to be at least the final kill. So actually a pretty good reset into their economy on the older guys. But Havoc not exactly set up for a full successful next round here. Vezins will come in from everyone on the older guys. It puts them all pretty low in cash. But on the other end, we only have the option of 2 Vezins coming through, and it might be another eco round coming in. As we see, oh no, there is going to be the double Vezin buy at least. Still those saves from everyone else.
Exactly. Like you said, they're not exactly in a position to capitalize on the economic damage. You've reset the economy, but they still have a full buy. There's not a lot of money to work with in the bank going into the future, but the full buy, and you only have 2 Vezins. So that means you're going to have to make something happen, or you're looking at a tied score. And with the only 750 and a couple of the members of Team Havoc, if you do lose this round and the score gets tied 5-5, and then you can't afford 5 Vezins going into round 11, now things are starting to look really hairy on what was a really strong start for Havoc is now probably making them sweat, as definitely the older guys having some serious momentum. Got Wabez working in behind the drone here on the top of Orange Stairs, and it looks like it's going to be another play for the hatches here as they check through the lockers and make sure that nobody is roaming. Where is I Blame I Am on the roam? He's been not as successful today with the roam as we've seen him in previous casts, but he manages to find the damage there as he peeks out, but gets traded out by Orchid. And that's a good opening pick, but the downside is you just given a Vezin over to Team Havoc, who only had 2 in hand, and now they should be up to 2, 3.
They lost one with Explosion, so they need to go get Explosions.
Well, that Vezin of I Blame My Aim is still just sitting right there, I believe.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Actually, the Wolf just needs to pick it up. I don't know, he's just sticking with the Viper for some reason. Oh, well, and maybe he's got, maybe he's feeling the Viper right now. We're not going to question it, as the hatch is going to get blown onto A, and you're going to see 2 members working down the orange stairs, probably going to be a little more cautious as the double trip, man, and it managed to kill Wabez last time this happened.
I mean, we talked about the pressure. You know, these players have been doing great reacting to everything, but it's so hard to keep track of every little thing, you know, and ultimately sometimes picking up your opponent's weapon isn't first on the mind. It's instead trying to stick to the planned push and stick to the timing that you want to go for, and ultimately breach in with enough time to plant and then rotate out. And the full breach is here for A. The hatch drop is available, but Driblo is holding tucked in behind the A objective. Smoke is going to come in, and as soon as it does, Hyja drops down into the smoke for the plant. What a nice bit of coordination. Driblo catches 1 over the top, looks for 2, 3. Silent comes in to find a couple, and now it's up to Venom to defend. The plant is there, but they're the only one to hold it down.
Yeah, I mean, not completely out of the water yet, as it is planted under that hatch. So if he finds Silent here, now he's in the perfect position to defend that defuse. And I'm obviously not going to be able to stick this, but he tries to catch him on the rotate, not quite finding the shots. So 1v2 now. Vendom in a powerful position.
Yeah.
He's to sit back and make sure he doesn't get pushed up the staircase. And as long as he defends this push from Crim Animosity up the stairs, he's going to be in a great position to win the 1v1 against Driblo down beneath. I think they're both just going for the pressure. And Venom is going to find it, and now they're in a bit of a tough spot. What was looking like a solid 3v1 situation is now a sketchy 1v1 with the EMP planted in such a powerful position.
This could be
bit
big.
of a misplay. Looks like he isn't going to go for the defuse. He's just going to go for the kill.
Yeah, Venom dives down. Driblo finds the kill. Won't be able to get... Oh, that's won't be able to get the... They still took the round. The bomb defuse is wrong.
Right. Bomb defused means the attackers win. Right.
Oh, okay. But the color, was the color was wrong.
I'm thinking
it was weird. I agree with you.
EMP, not defused. Bomb defused. That's different. That's what the EMP is there for. We keep calling it the bomb. A little bit tricky. I come from a Counter-Strike background. That's my bad. But I think the mistake that was made there from the older guys was every time they sent someone up the stairs while they had at least one person down near the EMP, that person down near the EMP should first be tapping. You want to put the thought in the defender's head of, shoot, eventually I'm going to have to peek under this hatch. And that gives the person pushing him the opportunity to catch a timing where he's looking down through the hatch to make sure nobody's sticking it. Especially when you've got 3 people left alive. You tap the bomb. That's a very powerful audio cue you're giving to the one remaining attacker. who is eventually going to have to peek that bomb. And that's when I think you find a timing to get the backstab up the orange stairs and finish that out. But you got to give the credit to Venom there for locking it down. Absolutely beautiful execution on the post plant. Tough spot. Good 1v3, and that's going to put them up to map point now.
I mean,
And economic damage. Look at the side of the older guys. They only have one Vezin in hand. This is a brutal force buy.
They really were able to capitalize big by winning that last round. It was the 1-2 punch that puts them into the position they're in now. And there's a little bit of utility out and around for the likes of the older guys, but it is a fully equipped Havoc squad on the attack. An objective that they ultimately haven't had a ton of success on, but we'll see if they can make that change by pushing in now to the AB on top floor.
Yeah, I agree. Now, especially with such a huge economic advantage here in guns going into this, I like the fact that they're sticking to their guns. Well, actually, the last time they did play more towards the locker room side, so perhaps switching it up a little bit. But, oh, that nade finding Crim Animosity is just going to make this uphill battle even more difficult. Another beautiful nade into the back, getting a little bit of chunk damage onto Driblo. But you got 4 members of the older guys. All 4 remaining members are here to fight this breach head on. He's got Hydra Wolf with the EMP there, taking out that last electrostatic field emitter. And Orchid just watching the back through that blue staircase window. Now Hydra Wolf, they still don't have comfortable control of the site. So a minute 30 left on the clock. They still need to find these kills. And I like this play by the other guys. Not giving them anything. Don't give them any peeks. Just play your tight angles. Now this EMP plant is going to come out. I think you're going to see a little bit of aggression. Hydra Wolf is ready for it. One-handing the Vezin.
What?
And he's going to find it with one hand. Still planting the bomb. The nade comes out. He stuck that. Venom finding Dribble as well. Now it's a 2v4. I blame my aim finding Venom. Now it's 2v3. Big Lunch working his way in towards this vending machine side. They are going to go for the aggression. Doesn't want to go for the tap here.
There's nothing left. You have to find the kills. You have to get the EMP defuse. The 1-2 could actually handle it as I Blame does proc it out. Big Lunch is there and can't connect on the Taurus. Over the top explosion will find the 2 they need to put Havoc up around a map. They take map 2, and we're headed to a map 3 series decider this afternoon, Phil, for our week 4 matchup here. A fine Wednesday night on display for us. Happy to have you alongside me here. Happy to have the crowd. And a big shout out while we have everyone tuning in for what is a stellar final map to all of our sponsors. ProTube VR offering fantastic stocks that help stabilize your aim in game. The magnetic tube that helps you connect to your stock that stabilizes onto your shoulder. Me and Phil here blasting away. It is a great tool. You can customize it to your own fittings, and I certainly do enjoy using it in a game like Breachers. Do check ProTube out if you do have the chance. They also have a couple of other options, a bit more on the immersion side that offer force feedback and recoil into your shoulder and pistol if you so desire. So do check them out. Big shout out to HyperX for providing us with the Quadcast S, the Cloud 2s, and ultimately prizing to our Season 1 champions. A lot to look forward to for Season 1, but a big shout out to HyperX for always supporting the VRML. And, of course, Triangle Factory. We said it once, Phil, but this has been so far a fantastic 4 weeks of preseason gameplay, and that's because such a well-designed game has been delivered to us by the Triangle Factory team.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, I have been playing virtual reality games since the original CV1 came out from Oculus and what is now Meta, excuse me. And none of the I've had a lot of fun playing a lot of the shooters, but this is the first one that's really sucked me in. And I remember seeing something about it, and then the day before it came out, I was like, I gotta pick this up and play this. Cancel my stream plans for tomorrow. We're playing some Breachers, and I pretty much haven't stopped playing it since nonstop. So it is something special. If you haven't had a chance, if you're enjoying some of this action, feel free to jump in. And if you want to get involved in the action, you can head over to the VRML website where you can join a team, build your own team, look for other teams, maybe find some pickup games in the Discord server, or even just as a spectator, if you want to vote for which matches you want to see casted, who you think's going to win, get those connoisseur votes in. And there's a lot of ways for you to get involved. So head on over to vrmasterleague.com if you want to jump in on the action. And we're going to jump back into the action as we are moving to the third decider map. I am so glad that this hype has not been disappointed. Like it's delivered on so many levels.
I think this was the most voted on match to be casted so far in the preseason too. So I definitely wanted to jump on it with you this afternoon, and I too am very pleased with what has been delivered so far. We go to Skyscraper to wrap things up, and I gotta wonder what we're gonna get. Is it gonna be that sort of defensive side favoritism that we have really kind of been seeing so far this afternoon? The defensive teams have been locking in those early leads, and then just a matter of taking a few extra rounds on the offense that have ultimately come together for both teams, Havoc and the older guys. And Wabez going to connect early onto the shins of iBlame. They'll find the full kill, and the duo having a little bit more control now of this upper floor. iBlame and their aggressive rotation caught out early.
Yeah, unfortunate position. He chose to tuck into that spot, which is normally considered very safe, but it seems like Havoc are aware, and all four of the 5 members dropping in towards that just happened to cleanly clean out a position. He didn't even manage to, I don't think he fired a single shot, just getting scooped up right out of the beginning. So it's 1-man advantage as we get 5v4 going into this first round, and that's not to count the older guys out yet. Crim Animosity in a nice aggressive position. He finds the headshots on the Orchid, and oh, it's an unfortunate team kill. But Crim Animosity does drop. Big Lunch also going down. The trade comes out to Wabez. Now it's 2v3 situation. Silent trying to get aggressive on the back hall, but gets immediately dinked by Splosion Max. And a little bit of damage, at least onto the momentum of the attack here of Havoc, as they have to slow things down and reestablish control. Hydra Wolf with the stim is going to heal back up. Wall gets blown.
Driblo is here on B to hold things down. It's not going to be an easy breach, but with that kill, it certainly does open things up. The double over the top from Silent equalizes the round, and we're into basically, I mean, 1 HP difference, but 25v25. A bullet to the chest. Is that going to do it for both of them?
Bullet, yes, I believe a bullet to the chest. Let me look at the math here. Hold on.
I know. I don't expect
close.
you to know
Venom
that.
Venom with that syringe in hand, though, is going to make that
Yep.
irrelevant. I think that's the thing is you can't, despite how much damage you know has been done by your teammates, you can't know whether or not the other player has had the opportunity to heal up, as Venom has just displayed. So perhaps still going to go for the headshot, but a beautiful timing Silent found there into the hallway to scoop up those 2 remaining members. And look at that, 1 bullet to the leg is not going to do it, as Silent escapes with just 4 points of health. Venom now just pushing his way onto the site with that EMP, the static slowing him down a bit, but he is going to get the plant down. And now the pressure is on Silent.
And it is Silent as they crouch down, rotate in, and Venom holds down an EMP plant. That's ultimately netted Havoc a nice start to map 3. 200 going into the pockets of the team regardless of win or loss. But it is going to be a short corner peek if Silent does go for this. And they're going to swing out, and it will be just that chest shot that Venom needs to find the final kill. And round 1 of the final map in this series goes into Havoc Esports' hands. I think if we look back at the connoisseur votes, it was in favor of Havoc, but by a tiny margin. And so far we have... Yeah, I have been pretty uncertain on who is going to take this series. 7-4 into the hands of older guys for map 1, 4-7 into Havoc for map 2. A lead doesn't really mean or guarantee anything at this stage.
Now the lead is as tiny of a margin as were the connoisseur votes right now. Havoc leading here on the deciding map by just 1 round. And we are going to see a bit of the heaviest investment we've seen so far in the series in the second round, as 3 members of Havoc buying up into Vez. It's a bit of a gamble, especially considering we've been talking about Skyscraper. The theory crafting seems to point to this being the most defender-sided map in the roster of maps. We've got still only a few maps. We've got a new map coming pretty soon. I'm pretty hyped for that, but a bit of a gamble buy here, because with 3 rifles, the problem with 3 rifles is you have to win this round clean enough to bring all 3 of these rifles into the 3rd round to get the full buy in round 3. But let's see what they have for an attacking idea. Perhaps they have play that they are confident will clean sweep this floor out with absolutely no problem getting 3 people alive into the next round. Let's see what they bring to the table. So far, no fights yet, as I blame my aim not going to get caught on the roam right at the beginning of the round this time, but...
Well, it's because Havoc have been playing this strategy. They've, I think, honestly done their homework and recognize that I blame is able to roam, that they do like to invest in a roamer. And even the way they're approaching objectives feels to me to be they're really clearing their space that they enter into to make sure there's no one that could be anywhere behind them or anything like that, so that they can confidently push forward towards their desired objective. And right now they've breached in to the bathroom and found the first kill. There's many more to come as Driblo goes down. The coordinated push comes through, but a trip mine finds a big kill, and the rotation on defense as everyone drops back leaves them in a 3v4 without control of either side of the walls, so both walls can be breached.
Very intense start to this round as Hydrowolf wins out that first gunfight with 1 point of health remaining. Does manage to get that 80 points from the healing syringe. Back up to 81 health now, but man advantage. A health point is a health point. It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning. But still perhaps a bit of distance to go to win this round, as it looks like they want to blow the wall from the bathrooms into the B bomb site. And Venom stacked outside of the other wall. Looks like they might want to blow both of the walls here. And the B crunch is going to come in. First wall goes down. Counter nade instantly from Crim Animosity. And the backstab from Orchid through the window. Such a clever concept. And so far, this round is going exactly how Havoc needed to go. 1 remaining member left alive. It's I blame my aim. And he is going to drop Explosion. And just like that, 4 people left alive. They're going to bring all 3 of those Vezins into the next round. And it's a clean round 2 from Havoc.
That was the best coordinated push I think I've seen from Havoc. They were perfectly in sync. The hit from the back of the window as the breach draws the attention of the nade toss. Just not a lot of a chance there for the older guys' defense, and that's what it takes to really overwhelm a team like the older guys. They've been undefeated every week so far this season, as have Havoc, and it's going to be after this map that we have a loser and a team that'll continue their undefeated streak. And then it's a matter of how long can you keep that going, because eventually every team gets a loss or they go through their whole season undefeated. It'll certainly be interesting to see if any teams can accomplish such a feat, but that's what's on the line right now for both squads. They cannot afford their first loss.
Yeah, neither team wants to give it up. I wonder if they do manage to tie this match and the series goes to a tie, does that mean both teams are undefeated or neither team is undefeated? How does that play out?
Oh gosh, okay. We can't
Let's get it figured out now. Okay. This is what the preseason is for. Let's get these questions at least out in the universe so we can get some answers at some point.
Yep, we will, of course, iron that out. Either way, it means that we're in for a good map 3, and so far it has been. But our first full buy is coming in, and we are seeing a familiar strategy with the Taurus coming through and 3 Vezins, not 4, for Animosity. Or for the older guys. That's maybe a downside of a little bit of a heavier investment in that last defensive round not going their way.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. You couldn't be more correct. And it's funny how the Team Havoc here trying to prove us wrong. We've been theory crafting about a defensive-sided skyscraper in the meta, and they so far are up 2-0 and with the gun advantage going into round 3, looking to secure at least at least a tie in the first half. They win this round, then the worst they could do going into the second half is a 3-3 tie. Off to a really great start is Havoc here, but the other guys, they want to take this round. They want to put their first one on the board, and they need to in order to win the first half. 4-2 is the best they could do now as Big Lunch waits around the corner, and Hydra Wolf ready for it, finding the opening pick. That's 1 Taurus down. The counter nade comes through. There's a lot of people here that are going to dodge just a little bit of damage onto Hydra, and the fire grenade to back it up, absolutely slowing down this attack. But it's minute 20 on the clock. There's still plenty of time. They need more than time to work with here. Need kills.
Here's the push. Drill Blue goes down. Everyone barrels into A, and they could take commanding lead of round 3. Everyone finds a kill as the final one comes in from Venom. And this is a perfect 3-0 for Havoc. They are absolutely running away with Skyscraper on the attack. And maybe, again, it's still too early to know. We just don't know what teams excel at where. And very clearly, maybe not clearly, but there maybe is a weakness for the Havoc team on Hideout. You know, that could be a potential weak point for them that they need to kind of hone in on, because older guys were looking in full control. They were looking like the dominant team at the start of this series, and that has really changed. Momentum-wise, and ultimately now here in Map 3, we are seeing Havoc in full control. They took Map 2. They're riding that energy all the way into Map 3, and that's got to sting a little bit if you're the older guys. That's a lot of losing.
Yeah, it is tough to say, because, you know, being that this is such a hype map, first place and second place teams, it could be a little bit of nerves coming in to the first map, you know. Perhaps now they're just finding their groove and getting into a rhythm. And on the contrary, perhaps in map 2, the older guys started to feel the pressure going down 5-1 in that first half, and just nerves kicking in and not being able to shake them off quite yet. But you're gonna have to shake them off soon, because this third deciding map is starting to creep away from them, as they're forced into a full save round here, round 4. And yeah, a bit of their game being shaken up. I Blame My Aim, famous for being such an effective roamer, has not been roaming at all. He's been playing on site with his team. So perhaps what was starting out as good adaptations on both sides, perhaps a little bit of the game plan shaken up for team the older guys. And yeah, I would personally like to see him get back into his roaming rhythm, not let his lack of success so far shake his confidence too much. But it looks like he's traded place, and it's Driblo now roaming around the first floor, waiting for the opportunity to backstab, as all 5 members of Team Havoc are set up towards this B bomb site of the Skyscraper. Drone coming through into the bathroom. Spots out Big Lunch. The ping comes out. He's going to back up onto the B bomb site. That gives up control of the bathrooms entirely over to Havoc. A very defensive posture from the older guys. And based off of how the crunch came in the last time, I can't imagine they're feeling confident with 3 people on B and nothing but pistols in hand.
Yeah, there's full control here of the bathroom for the Havoc squad. Full control of both entry points. And look at this. Doesn't this seem familiar? Orchid rotates around to approach the outside window, where it will be the full court press of the double breach in the window entry point. Are they going to sync it up on a minute is the question. What is their timing?
Here, the adaptation has come in. The older guys are ready with 2 members looking at this window, while Crim Animosity stares at the little vent. So perhaps the wall gets blown. Here comes the window gets blown at the same time. The crunch comes in, and it's Hydra Wolf and Venom. They blow both of the walls, and the crunch is once again absolutely dominant as 4 members drop. It's just Dribbler remaining, hiding in the site, but finds 2, but eventually gets cleaned up. And the little bit of economic damage from 2 kills is not going to put much of a dent in the situation, because they have so much money in the bank. Look at that. 4 out of 5 members of Team Havoc completely maxing out to the money cap of 7,500 cash. That's a lead if I've ever seen one. Up 4-0 on attack side on Skyscraper. And this is it. If you're the older guys, you got to dig deep. What do you got left in the tank? You got to put your foot down right here and put some rounds on the board.
Yeah, I got to wonder if maybe this is the older guys' weak point. You know, the Skyscraper here, these defensive rounds not going their way. We will see at least a round on the attack and on the defense coming in from Havoc with the older guys on the attack, but that could be it. If they can't find a couple here, the full buy, not even full, coming in, as Animosity won't be able to pick up that Vezin, but utility is here, health syringes, and 4 Vezins into the hands of the older guys, so it's going to be the best they can put up until they swap sides.
Yeah, I think this could actually work out to their benefit, with Crim Animosity being just short. I think it was 2850, not quite able to buy that 5th Vezin, but that's going to force him, knowing that they have to win this round pretty much to not let this map slip away, to buy a bunch of utility. And I Blame My Aim action gets started right away, because it looks like he tries to get back to roaming. But once again, the roaming breach comes in directly where he's at, and he just gets outnumbered.
I think there was some drone work or something too, because the ping came right out on that position, and so they actually planned the double entry knowing they were going to challenge on that corner, maybe risk a life, but ultimately get rid of that roamer, clear the top floor that you can push into now, and set up like they've been setting up. They really have just been, if they're allowed to, doing a great job of executing on their pushes into the objective.
Yep. The trade, at least the 1-for-1 trade, so it's not a huge deficit, excuse me, as we got a 4 versus 4 situation. The older guys with a much more defensive posture, looks like once again wanting to stand their ground here in this big screen room as Wabez and Hydra Wolf work their way up the stairs and try to find an angle. Silent gonna be the first one to pop that angle. As once again, Orchid with the backstab through the window. Really nice flash. Both members completely blinded up in the screen room, but no aggression there to follow up. Silent finding the shots. Orchid popping up more windows, and the crunch comes in as Hydra Wolf manages to drop that static field emitter. Still 4v4. A little bit of damage traded back and forth. Nades coming in, and Silent's going to be the one to lose out on that fight. Do they know that Crim Animosity is here in the corner? They are going to find out soon enough, as now it's a 2 versus 4. Big Lunch also finding some damage down that long hallway. That peek not working out in his favor. Let's have Stim in hand. I wonder if it must be on cooldown here. Dribbler's going to fall. It's all down to Big Lunch. And still 5-0. And not able to find their first round. The older guy's back's against the wall now.
Yeah, this is tough. They really do need the point win here to lock this in as they go into the final round of our first set. One more to go, and ultimately a forced buy coming in from the older guys. They're not able to do really much of anything here on this round with no cash in hand. It looks like it's just going to be a heavy investment in utility, hoping that they can make something happen, but they really need 1 point on the board here.
Yeah, it's a tough, like we said, I mean, if they have a really clean, I'm not sure how strong their attacking side is here on Skyscraper, they could still be, pushing for the tie, but you hate to go into the second half with the tie being your best opportunity, right? With no rounds to lose, no slack whatsoever. It puts a lot of pressure into the mines, as we are going to see 3 rifles get bought up, a couple of orals in the hands of Lunch and Driblo. Yeah, I'm with you. I think they really need to try and put this round on the board, but I'm sure that's been their mentality for the last few rounds. Let's see what they can bring to the table.
Man, Havoc are looking good on the attack on Skyscraper, though. They really have been, and I think that's maybe what really has been leading to these wins. Not necessarily that the older guys aren't strong on this map, just that Havoc really have been executing well, and I wouldn't say flawlessly, but very good on their attacks. It is almost perfect on their breaches. The 2 entries that they did make onto that objective were beautifully executed, and so they just need to do that one more time here and then take the pistol round, which is really kind of like a dice roll in a lot of ways, in my opinion. And if they can win that dice roll, if they can win that 50-50, then they can take the entire series and remain undefeated in the preseason. Venom is going to work their way forward, open up a little bit of some room. Ultimately, I don't know that I agree that pushing out into this courtyard is a safe place to attack from, because you can be shot from so many different angles. But they're kind of banking on the lack of aggression coming in from the older guys by not pushing, and, well, maybe that's why you don't get aggressive, because Venom just comes flying out for kills. Big Lunch shuts down the rotation on the backside, and there's more coming through as Driblo goes down to Explosion. Just 2 left alone on B, and not even in the objective space. They're in bathroom as utility starts to come into their position.
Yeah, it looks like they can smell the blood in the water. The EMP getting tossed over to Hydra Wolf. They are going to be planting here on the A bomb site. And yeah, no mercy. As Blame My Aim just sticks his arm around the corner to get a nade in, but he gets taken down to 8 points of health off of that one nade, and Silent gets dropped in the back line. It's now all down to Blame My Aim. Just a Taurus in hand, 8 points of health. Gonna immediately drop the Explosion, and that's gonna be a 6-0 first half. So we're going into the second half and what might be the final round, the deciding round of this final map. But such a hype, and it could all come down to this. This could be it.
We are in to it. Havoc are going to swap sides, and the older guys will attack, and we're going to find out if it is something about the defense on Skyscraper here that was the reason to blame for the 6-0 coming in on Havoc, or if it simply was Havoc with an overwhelmingly coordinated attack here on Skyscraper. That is the question. We'll find out. The pistol round again, the dice roll, and Havoc just need to find the headshots here to take the series win.
Yep.
15 seconds left.
It's got to be a comfortable spot knowing you're on map point and you've got 6 rounds. Every round of this half is a potential final round for you to seal the deal. The worst that you can do is tie. I'm not sure if they go to a decider of some sort between rounds, but they both won 7-4. Even if you go to rounds, how do you split that up? It would be a dead even tie. They're either both going to be undefeated or neither will be undefeated. Who knows? But it's all going to start with the pistols. Venom catching the aggression from I Blame My Aim over on the red side, but it's an immediate drop from Crimson and Silent. They do find the trade, but Venom finds a second one in Animosity. And Explosion Max coming to back Venom up, and it's a 3-piece for Venom to get things started. All down to Driblo with it all to do. No slack. They cannot lose this round or that's the end of this map. So he's going to have to go for this. Venom down to just 1 point of health, but it's a 1 versus 4 situation. Oh, so difficult. So difficult. 2 minutes left on the clock. Plenty of time, but the EMP is down in that server room, and it looks like all 4 members of Havoc have rotated over. They're ready. They want to close it out right here, right now.
Huge plays from Venom to catch out the drop out of the vent, and ultimately good rotations from this defense to stack up here. Not going to make it easy for Driblo to find multiple shots. They've been pinged. Explosion peeks the short corner, and Hyja finds the kill from the long angle. It's Havoc that take map number 3 and the series win. They remain undefeated, and ultimately we get a fantastic match to tune into this afternoon.
What an absolute joy to both watch and cast. I hope you guys had as much fun as I had. That was just a super banger. Back and forth the whole way. Even towards the end there, I had this little question in the back of my mind. If the older guys can get off to a start, maybe they can get back into this map. But once Havoc got the ball rolling, it was an unstoppable force. And the older guys just not able to stifle that momentum. Beautiful masterclass. Despite getting off to a bit of a rough start on Hideout, Havoc showing that they got what it takes to most likely be the new #1 spot on the leaderboard. Still remaining undefeated here, beating out the older guys 2-1 in this best of series.
I think I was looking at the scoreboard. There's like 8 or 9 teams that are undefeated still, and we're gonna go to another undefeated matchup tomorrow with Zenith VR Esports versus, I can't remember who they're going up against. Infinity. That is certainly a hyped matchup. I'm seeing some folks in chat saying Infinity is going to go undefeated through the preseason. So that certainly is some predictions coming in. But with Havoc playing like they did today, maybe they'll be able to challenge Infinity if we come down to that next week or the week after. We may very well see that matchup. So it's something people certainly can start to look forward to. But Infinity will need to remain undefeated tomorrow in their matchup against Zenith in order to go up against Havoc as a potential matchup next week. So definitely a lot to look forward to. Ultimately, a stellar back and forth that we caught here this afternoon, Phil. And a big shout out to everyone that did tune in here today. Be sure to share the YouTube channel, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button on the stream. It helps the algorithm. We need more people coming in and seeing Breachers and joining the league. We're almost over 100 teams active in the preseason. We can push that. There's only 2 more to go. We can get over that hump for over 100 teams in this preseason. And we're just going to keep growing this space. So appreciate your support, but that'll be it for us here on the desk. My name has been Nightfire with 2 E's, my co-caster Philip Bust. We'll see you all tomorrow for another solid matchup.
preseason of VRML Breachers.